Adventurers Wanted Rebellion. 2014. This performance is a relaxed performance, which means our attitude to sound and movement for the audience is relaxed for the benefit of people who would struggle to stay still and silent for an entire hour. If you do want a quick break, feel free to please leave and come back. That's important. Come back. If you do need help with anything, please do catch the attention of Naomi, our stage manager. Give her a wave or catch her eye, and she will hopefully be able to help you. So this is how it works. All of 4 players around me have unique characters who have unique abilities that will be interacting with a world that I am running. So I control everything else, and they interact with that world and with each other through dice rolls, which they will be adding various mathsy bits to as we go along. I will describe what will happen. The story so far is that an oppressed village called Holmwood has been turned into a mine by a ruling faction of cultists that this sentence is awful. Ruling faction of cultists that are worshipping a god that has disappeared from the world. They've had enough, and led by 2 gruff men from the village, Keren and Elan, they have attacked and tried to throw off their culty overlords. They've currently killed 3 cult members, and the guards are onto them. They're in the mine trying to evade, trying to engage, and we'll see where it goes from there. Where we just left them, we'll find out in a second. But first, we should meet our players and their characters. So starting on my right, the audience's left, please do tell us your name, tell us your character's name, their pronouns, and a little bit about them, and where their head is at.
Cool. Hello, my name's Chris, and I'm playing Kess. Kess is a human monk, and she is white ponytail, very, very ordinary-looking lady. And she's excited to be here, and not the brightest.
My name is James, and I'm playing Locke, the tiefling warlock, who, as we all know, has a tail. I should raise at this point that he also has horns. And has,
reveal.
And has light, kind of a darkish red skin. So just imagine that for your cosplay.
It's very fetching.
Thank you, James. We'll move on now.
No, you didn't say where my head's at. He's very pro-revolution and is very bad at rolling dice.
I'm G. I'm playing Harvey, who's an Aarakocra, a sort of bird person. Harvey's not actually his real name. His real name is which is Aarakocran, but
I can't tweet that.
no. Hence Harvey. He's originally from the elemental plane of air, but has been stuck in the material plane for some years.
That may become relevant later.
I'm Chloe. I'm playing Flair, who is a fire genasi bard, and has been established that she speaks with a fantasy accent. Therefore is immune to any criticism about her accent.
It's true. I would love to back that up by saying all accents that I do as the game master are fantasy accents.
Yes, that's the standard principle. And in terms of where her head's at right now, it's about 2 feet beneath the roof of a cave because her hair is fire. And if she touches it, bad things might happen.
The mine, because it has been established that the ore in which they are mining is a little bit explosive.
Yeah.
Just a little bit. Just a touch. Just a smidge. So, where we just left off, a character called... Yes.
Oh, no, when you're ready.
Yeah,
okay.
I just kicked someone in the head.
A character... I know. A character called Kismat decided to try and start a fight with some more guards to rescue some more people for the rebellion. This was immediately finished off by a wonderful flying kick from Kez, who flew in from nowhere. And they find themselves surrounded now by 10 guards, with some of the commoners a little bit unwilling to help. We're going to go straight into combat here, so I'm going to need...
Can I have a free action at the end of my flying kick?
It depends what it is.
Well, the guard was trying to pull a sword out of a scabbard, right?
Right.
As I'm flying kicking him, can I grab the sword, spin over, and land?
Roll an acrobatics check.
Yeah! That is a 20.
Yep, okay, you have grabbed the sword. It is a long sword, just to be clear.
That is what I am good with.
Is it?
Yeah, can say.
Cool. So, oops. Can I get initiative rolls from everyone, please? Initiative rolls.
Dude,
So,
Including me, am I here at this point?
yes, you are.
Right.
Yes, I'll get to you. Don't worry.
Ooh,
12.
21.
So we've got
14.
A nat 1.
The monk.
Technically, that's a 5, but it's still a nat 1.
Well, I also rolled a 5 and a nat 1, so everyone else gets to go first. So, Flair, you have seen, like, you were trying to advise your party mates, your rebellion mates,
Yeah.
to cautiously approach, and then
Have a
they
plan.
just they've run in, they've attacked.
Okay.
Behind you, you can hear the 6 guards that you saw at the entrance very swiftly coming up.
I'm next to you as well.
Okay. So you're next to me. Basically,
Yeah.
I want to make sure that I'm behind you, so that you're closer to that place. Basically,
Oh no,
that
I
I'm.
think I've just worked out what your plan is.
Yeah. I want to be, but basically,
I let her move past me.
yeah, and then I stand up
Oh god!
because I want to try. She's hoping that by standing up, she can make some of the stuff explode and do a cave in that at least stops the others getting to them. So the first thing.
Roll a perception check for me.
What is this? What are you getting money out?
Are we having a bet?
Oh no! Oh!
Are you flipping a coin?
We're now on coin tosses. Perception check. Oh, that's a modified 20.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you can indeed see a vein of ore in the roof. You're aiming for heads or tails.
Heads. I mean heads.
Okay, it's tails.
Oh.
Oh no.
So
Speaking of tails.
on the really, you haven't mentioned it.
I mean, I'm about to get blown up, aren't I?
No. So you're essentially what this looks like is you stand up, run past, and sort of scrape your head on the ceiling a little bit. Doesn't do anything.
Doesn't do anything. Okay. She just kind of looks a little bit sheepish. She doesn't know if anyone saw her, but she tries.
He's right there.
Locke definitely saw that.
Okay. Well, when she does that and she sees him, she just tries to turn it into just stretching it out.
Roll a performance check.
Stretching it out. Performance is a 25.
Do you know what? That was one of the better performative dances you've
Yeah,
ever seen.
I'm confused as to why it's happening in the middle of combat, but I am impressed.
Yeah, and I think, I'm going to leave it at that for now because there's so much more. There's so much more to do. This is why she's pro-plan. She's very much pro-plan because when there isn't a plan, this is what happens.
I'm with you.
Locke, it's your turn.
We've got the big guns screaming towards us.
Yeah, 6 guards are coming up from behind. They look significantly more armored than the cultists did. And you've got 4 significantly more armored cultists guards ahead of you.
6 behind, 4 in front.
Yep, and
Right.
then beyond those 4, you have a scared-looking row of commoners, much bigger than your group. There's about a dozen of them. One of them doesn't look so scared. That one is an Orokra.
They're my favourite. As a free action, can I shout, rebellion?
Of course you can.
And try and entice the commoners to fight with us.
Roll a persuasion check with disadvantage.
That was a 19, so whatever this is. 11 plus 16.
16, not bad. How does that make you feel, Harvey?
I'm ready to go.
Fantastic. There you are.
Pumped.
You catch the eyes of the Arokara, and he grips his pick a little bit harder in his talons. He said, "What do your hands look like?"
So my hands are kind of human-like hands.
Okay.
But feet are very much talons.
Okay, cool.
And then I will turn to the one at the front of the 6, and I'm going to cast Incapacitate.
Oh, you're the rear guard, eh?
Yeah.
So, incapacitate.
They've got to roll Constitution, and if they fail, they're blind.
Or deaf.
Or deaf.
I get to choose. They're blind.
What's the DC?
My DC
Yours
13.
13, and it was con.
Yeah.
No, that is a failure.
Your parents will be disappointed.
Wow. Sure.
And
So this guy,
Oh yeah.
this guy at the very front stops in his tracks and goes, "Ah, I'm blind!" And he almost stumbles and falls, but he doesn't. Trips a little bit.
So I have my familiar invisibly hanging out.
That's correct. Remind us what your familiar is.
When most of the time he appears to people as like a toad, which perches on my shoulder. Very few people have seen what he actually is.
Good lord.
Maybe there'll be a twist later.
It's something horrible, isn't it?
Yeah. But do I need to use one of my actions to get him to be able to use one of his abilities?
Yeah.
Okay.
What would you like to do?
I just wanted him to scare one of them.
Oh, I see. Right. Okay. Like mechanically or?
No, like
charismatically?
mechanically.
Okay. Cool. Fine. Right. In which case, no movement. We're moving on then.
Yep.
Harvey, you've just seen this guy go rebellion and then turn on his 6 and point at one of the guards coming up behind him.
Okay.
Right ahead in front of you, there are 4 guards. To your left and right, you have your fellow mining buddies. Old man Josiah is just ahead of you as well. He was just doing his thing, slipping some ore into his pocket. And then there are 4 other guards around you who don't really know which way to look.
Okay. My action then, I am going to cast a spell of dark.
Oh. Okay.
Around myself, 30-foot radius of dark. No, sorry.
What talent is this?
Light.
Light. Yes.
It's all right. We're
Using a modified spell?
we're teething our way through a modified spells list. It is. Right. Okay. Cool.
Question to Chris about this.
Is this? How long does this last? How long is this supposed to last? Just 1 round?
1 minute.
1 minute.
1 minute. Okay.
Does it affect dark vision? As in, can dark vision see through it?
Does it say on it?
It just says there's darkness. It doesn't say.
Then no.
magic,
If it isn't specifically saying that dark vision is affected, then it isn't.
Brilliant.
So I can't see anything.
Except that dark vision doesn't apply to magical darkness.
That's too powerful. That's the case. So no.
Okay,
Oh, yeah,
fine.
Dark vision works through it.
Fine.
So yeah, I cast 30 feet of darkness around
Okay,
myself.
fantastic.
Who's currently in the darkness?
So everyone, except I would say
These 2 in the guards. But
these 2 in the guards.
But me,
I do.
him, all the commoners, all
Yep.
the guards are in darkness.
Yep.
Lovely.
So no one can see anyone. I would say.
Okay.
Those
Is that any movement for that?
5 out of 6 of those guys.
And actually, this bit of the mine we're in isn't very. The ceiling's not very.
It's not very high. No, it's only about, I would say, just 6 foot high, and that's the ceiling.
Okay.
So stood at you're having to hunch to fit in, I imagine.
I'm only about 5 feet tall.
Okay, fair
so
enough. Fair enough.
but,
Oh, you're a smaller bird person. Cool.
So I guess No. I don't
No,
move
all
anymore.
good.
No,
Fantastic.
well, I'll
So
see what happens.
from your perspectives, then basically everything in front of you just goes dark, and there's this fog cloud that just obscures the area. You've still got the 6 guards coming in behind you, though.
Can she go? Yeah, that's what I was doing. Yep.
Roll a deception check.
I'm all right at deceiving. 18.
My insight was not great. I go, well done.
Thanks.
You're pressing me left, right, and centre.
There we go.
Thanks.
So
Gotta change
I've
accent.
got quite a few
Well spoken.
guards to attack. So we're going to have 2 on you.
With disadvantage.
I'm aware. 2 on you. And then we've got like 5 on you guys.
Yeah.
And 1 who's blind, so he gets disadvantage as well. So, 8. That is a 15. Does that one hit? No. Okay.
In the darkness, you just hear twing, twing.
So, yeah.
Guys, stop! Seriously, what?
I thought we agreed there'd be no
7.
killing.
Both of them miss you as well. You can feel swords just like brush past you, but no purchase. We're going to do 2 on you, then 2 on you, and then we're going to do the blindness one. So, +3. Highest one is a 14.
Yes.
That does hit. Fantastic.
Well, I've
It
got
does a
any armor
7. Does a 7 hit?
No, that does not.
That does not hit. Oh yeah, bear in mind you don't have any armor on. So your AC
I
is
don't
10,
wear armor.
10 plus your dexterity modifier.
Okay.
For now.
For now.
For now. We've got an 18 and an 8 against Flare.
The 18 will hit.
I thought so.
Yeah.
So, you take 5 points of slashing damage and... Sorry. Locke takes 5 points of slashing damage and Flare, unfortunately, takes 10 points of slashing damage as these guards fall on you. The blind one is frozen in fear. He's there like, guys, what's going on? I can't see anything! He's really, really upset.
Oh, he's my new favourite NPC. Can we keep him?
If you like. I'm going to guess that Kess has a higher dexterity than a commoner, so we go to Kess next.
I do.
You're
right.
in the dark.
I'm in the darkness, but I've been attacked by 2 people and they've both missed, and I've managed to deftly avoid or block the hit with the sword I have in my hand.
More or less.
Cool.
You're not quite sure whether it was a block or whether your sword was just there.
That's very fair. I mean, she's not the brightest. A lot of these are just moves she learned to do whenever, so it's just sort of falling into rota. Right, guys, look, I'm just... Okay, fine! And I slash out with the sword and try and hit one of them.
Okay.
So attacking with disadvantage. Ooh, that is 16.
16 just hits. That's what you need.
Yeah. That is 13 points of damage as...
13 points of damage. Okay, well, you don't see what happens to this guard, but you do hear a certain crunch as your sword enters in through a chest area, crushes side of a clavicle, and the guy just falls off of the end of your blade on the other side. You didn't see him go down though.
And there was another one, so I'm going to do a spinny kick around to try and get him, and then...
Sure,
pop back
spinny
into
kick.
it, I suppose. Spinny kick!
Love a spinny kick.
That is a 19. Sorry,
You
rolled
would,
stupidly high.
of course.
19
yeah.
on disadvantage.
It definitely hits.
That's just a d4. It's not too bad. That is 6 points of damage.
Okay, this guy, you definitely crack him across the jaw. You're used to what jaws feel like on the bottom of your foot. And you hear a muffled, but he's not down.
Sorry, look, you hit first, right? You hit first.
Okay, which leads us to the commoners, who are all going to absolutely peg it. Because suddenly it's got really dark, and there's fighting, and it's scary. Josiah is the first one out of the fog, you see. So, you see, Josiah is the
so
first
they're
one out of
pegging
the
it
fog.
towards us.
Pretty much.
Oh, okay.
Because they know that's where the exit is. They're coming out of this fog. Some of them stumble and fall and hit the ground as they break out of the fog, the blackness, the darkness. Josiah comes up to you and goes, I've been waiting for this. And just sort of starts to stroll past you, but then he sees the guards that you're fighting, and he goes, maybe over here.
Great, good. You can all help us.
Roll a persuasion check.
I mean, yeah,
It is your turn next, so I'll allow you to do this.
It's just her instinct to try and do it. Persuasion is 15.
Some of them actually, like, you can see resolve crosses their eyes, and they pick back up their picks and go, "Yeah, okay, let's do this." And they're trying to psych themselves up. Some of them, about 6 of them, are like, "No, we're gonna die." Josiah is just sort of patiently pressed up against the wall, holding on to his little pile of rocks. It is your turn.
Okay.
Flair.
I have very little. I don't know if I'm going to try.
So you've got 2 guards attacking you right in combat with you. They're there with their long swords, and they look pretty dangerous compared to the cultists you took out earlier.
Okay. She's going to try something. What I want to do is I have the illusion power.
Okay.
So I can make a 1-foot cube illusion. I'd like to use a modifier so I can make 2 of them.
Okay.
Because I want to look like I'm reaching into anything I have comparable to pockets, or even like I've just tucked something into my waistband. I want to then put that in my hair and pretend and create an illusion like I've got 2 ready to explode pieces of ore, and basically threaten them with those.
Okay, fine.
And just go, I've already killed someone with these!
Which is true. So I'm going to need you to roll your magic backlash.
Yes, so that's 20, D20 plus my modifier.
Yeah.
Yes.
Plus your proficiency.
Yes.
Yeah.
19.
19. Okay, you're fine with that. So you bring out these 2. They look on the edge of almost to explode.
Get back!
And now I need you to roll an intimidation check for your attack, for your action.
I just have so little I can do. Oh, 12.
They actually do take pause. They're there like, they draw back. They'll know that the ore is dangerous with fire, and they'll know that you're not supposed to be down here where the ceilings are low. And we'll see what they do when we get to their turn, but it has affected them.
Cool.
So that was cool.
Can I use my bonus? And I just kind of shout.
So you don't have a bonus action. You have things you can do as a bonus. But what would you like to do?
I was going to do Bardic Inspiration again.
Okay, cool, fine.
If that's cool.
Yeah,
sorry,
no, that's fine. I just wanted to clarify because there's no action, bonus action, free action. It's just there are bonus actions.
I just kind of shout to you as much as possible. I believe in you. Left, right, centre, northwest, all the directions.
What a woman! She's great.
And that's Bardic Inspiration.
Cool. And that's a D6 at your level, or
Yes,
yeah.
D6.
Hang on, did I get inspiration last time?
You did.
You did.
Because I went, sorry.
Not that you've needed it so far. Guess.
No.
You're doing real
I know,
well.
I've really wasted
Yeah.
that one. I think I've only got 1 left as well.
Locke, it's your turn.
I've got 2 on me.
You've got 2 on you. You've seen what just happened with Flair there. You've got the commoners trying to pour out the way that you've come in, but you've got to deal with the guards first.
I'm going to try and psychically blast them, both 2 of them.
Okay.
So it will be a modifier.
Yep, okay, cool. So that's a modifier of 5. Cool.
So...
Oh no. It's plus 10 for
Is
extra enemy effect. Yeah. Which is fair.
What do I need
That feels balanced. No, so just roll your attacks and we'll deal with that in a minute.
Oh no.
James, this is very difficult.
Oh, this is very difficult. Oh, I won't do that then. Can I just increase the damage on one of them then?
Yeah, okay. Increase the damage on one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
That is less difficult.
Okay.
I wanted to see James's character explode.
God, my character's so fond of you so far. That is 14.
For the attack to hit, misses.
Psychic damage?
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
Why?
Because this guard, when you catch his eye, seems to be fueled by a greater resolve than you could ever have anticipated in such a lowly guy.
Strange.
Yeah.
I just find it odd.
It is odd. No, it's very odd.
Thought it'd be easier.
Now roll your psychic backlash, your
Yeah.
weird backlash.
Oh.
There you go. 10.
Oh, is he going to explode anyway?
He's going to explode anyways. So roll a d10 for me.
So fancy these D10s I've got.
Oh
1.
no!
So
Oh,
this
it's a 1!
This is the
Is that a bad
first
thing?
backlash we've had in the game.
It was going to
Okay.
be me, wasn't it?
So,
Yeah.
okay, so as you stare into this guy's eyes and you find that resolve in him, and you see that he is stronger than you thought. Suddenly, you're gripped by this neurotic anxiety that you're weaker than you thought.
I genuinely do feel like
You're
that.
you're genuinely scared of the fact. You're anxious that you cannot ever use magic the way you thought you were able to use it. I need you to just mark somewhere that you've got a psychological scar on
That's
you.
fine, I've
So
got loads of them.
that will permanently add a difficulty level to any magic that you try and cast from now on.
Forever.
Forever.
Why are we on the first session?
Unless it is healed later.
You rolled a
Can
1.
be healed.
For future reference, just as a genuine question, can Bardic Inspiration dice be added to with backlash rolls? Because it's a D20 roll.
Let's see why not.
It's a saving throw. So can Bardic Inspiration roll be added to saving
I think
throws?
so.
Yeah, it can.
Okay, then yes.
Oh.
So in the future,
Oh.
James.
I genuinely didn't realise I could
Sorry,
do it
no,
like that.
I didn't.
Yeah, I didn't know
hadn't
that's
thought
fair.
either.
We're, like I say, teething problems.
Yeah.
You look really upset, James.
I
I'm
am
sorry.
upset. I've got a psychological scar.
Yeah.
I'm feeling quite anxious.
Yeah,
That
I
is
believe
what
in
happens.
you.
fair enough. Anyway, moving on. Harvey, how you feeling, mate?
I've got my pickaxe in my hand. What kind of damage can my pickaxe do?
So it's not a pickaxe that's been sharpened for war. It's not a war pick.
Yeah.
So only a D4. But
Okay.
it is a D4. It's a D4 plus your
Okay.
strength modifier.
Okay.
And it's a simple weapon, so you'd have proficiency in it as well.
Okay.
I'm spurting all these words at you. I don't know what level of D&D you've played.
Minimal.
Okay,
level
that's
1.
fine. So
So
yeah, it's similar to that.
to that.
Well,
So it's the same
it's
as
exactly the
this.
same
Yeah,
stats.
yeah,
as
that's-
Exactly
But
the same.
it, but it
I
is
was trying to
dark.
work out if
It
it
is
was better
dark,
or
so you
worse.
will struggle to hit people.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess. So I know sort of the rough direction.
Yeah, it's only been 4 or 5 seconds since
Yeah.
you cast the spell. You have heard some very nasty, squishy things going on off to the left, where the crazy monk lady was.
Okay.
Sorry.
So I'm going to aim for. I'm not swinging my weapon. I'm going to aim myself with propelled forward with my wings to try and body check a guard that I know roughly where they are, but I haven't heard them being attacked so far.
Okay. One that hasn't been attacked so far. So yeah, there are 2 on you. You've got 2
Yeah.
around you. So yeah, okay, fine. Yeah, you can do that.
So I
But you don't want to hurt them. You want to just
I mean-
knock them to the ground.
I'm trying to do damage.
Yeah. Okay.
suppose,
Okay.
but-
Fine. Sure. So just yeah, that's fine. So you roll your d20 twice and take the lower number. So 9.
Oh no, the lower one was 5.
But
So
Well,
six.
but with the
you
plus
add the
4.
plus 4.
Oh yes.
Yeah. So 9. So yeah, you've missed.
Yeah.
You did try and reach out and touch.
Yeah.
One of and smack one of the guards, but you've just missed entirely.
Okay.
Luckily, they're also finding it difficult to hit you. So there you are. Swings and roundabouts. Is there any movement you'd like to do, or are you happy to stay where you are, holding off these 2 guards?
Yeah. No, I'll stay where I am.
Okay. That brings us to the guards. So 2 on you. Yeah,
Vic.
one of them runs. One of them breaks
Yeah!
out. You can do an attack of opportunity on him if you want, but it would only be like a punch.
I have nothing I can
I mean, you haven't equipped yourself. That's fine.
Well, yeah, I haven't got a pickaxe off it, but yeah, I'm just going to stay here for the moment, see what the other one does.
The other one tries to attack you. It rolls an 11.
No!
Aha! So you managed to just dodge him. Yeah, that's what those 2 do.
Okay, good.
Your 2. The one that runs away, grabs the guy by the shoulders, the blind one, and goes, "We gotta get out of here! They're going crazy!" And then just pegs it off down the corridor. I've got a 17 and a 10 on you.
1 will hit.
1 will hit. Not a 1 will hit, but one of those.
One of those
hit.
will hit.
Yes. Okay. So that will do 6 damage. So again, this combat continues as you're dodging blades and trying to get your familiar to actually help you for once.
I've got to use one of my actions though for the familiar to do it though.
Yeah, I know.
So So.
I know. I was just putting flavour in.
Okay, yeah, that's good. Yeah. My day is not going very well.
No, it's not, it's really not going well. And probably that sword hit you because of your psychological scar. You're there like, why? And it clocks you.
I've given up an eye on life.
I thought you said you'd given up an eye then for a second.
I've given up an eyes.
You get one attack on you at disadvantage, which definitely misses, and you get 2 attacks on you at disadvantage. Ooh, 13.
Oh, it hits.
It does hit you.
It does.
So that's max damage. So that's 11 points of damage.
Do I?
So as you've tried to body check one guy, suddenly you feel a blade come in your back through your lower back, and it almost feels like it's pointing out the other side, like it's a really bad hit.
Do you make a noise?
Great noise. Kess, it's your turn.
Well, I've just stabbed one, and I've just roundhouse kicked another in the head, and then I heard a squawk of something in danger.
Yeah.
Well, I better go and help that.
The one you roundhouse kicked will get an attack of opportunity at you if you leave him there.
Well, I don't know he's there because I'm blinded because it's all dark.
Okay.
So I'm coming and run up and go try and get the one behind.
13. So I presume that hit misses. Okay. Cool.
I am very live.
You are live. So attack your enemy, the chap who has just stabbed Harvey in the back.
That is 9.
Yeah, that misses. That
Cool.
definitely misses.
I then the sword goes wide, but as I swing with the sword one-handed, I lean in for a punch at the same time, so it's 2 hit.
Okay.
That is a 12.
That also misses.
Flurry of fucking blows. I'm third hit. Realizing I've missed twice, I then, using the first strike to push momentum round, and then the punch to keep momentum going, the foot goes over the head in a heel kick to try and back down.
Oh, nice. And you miss. So,
Welcome to my world.
Why is it dark?
it would have been spectacular had you seen it,
Yeah.
but it's very dark.
We get his hi-ya! Oh, balls.
Where are you? Okay. So that leads me to the commoners. Wow. Okay. So two of the commoners are going to come up to the guy who you're dealing with.
Yeah.
6 and yeah, he's dead. So out of nowhere, this guy who you weren't able to scare off, that is still stood to attack you, suddenly gets jumped from behind by 2 fairly burly ladies with pickaxes and just smack him in the back with their pickaxes. You can see them like spoking out of his rib cage, and he just falls to the floor in front of you. And then they give you like because you're the one who was like, help us! They give you like a and turn to the next thing.
Yeah, she tries to do the nod back, but there's a little bit of, she was trying to avoid more gore, so it's kind of like,
So now it's just 2 on me.
Now there's just 2 on you.
Lovely.
And you are joined by another commoner who also hits, because these commoners are doing a really great job.
Well, someone has to.
Do they want to play?
They don't kill their target, this particular commoner, but
Do they hit it?
they do hit it in the back of the knee. One of the guards that you were in combat with suddenly buckles a little bit.
Ooh, nice.
Brings us to Flair.
Okay. I dropped the illusion in my hands.
Okay.
And so I can just see the 2 that are by lock, yes?
Yes. Yeah, you can see
again.
the 2 that are by lock.
She is not wise.
Locke has a very jaded look in his eyes.
She's not wise. The others seem to be doing well with the pickaxes. She doesn't know how good she'd be with pickaxes. wants to run and headbutt one of them.
I mean, you can also pick up like the guard in front of you has just dropped a sword.
Oh, he's just dropped. Okay.
Not wise. Not wise. She said what she said.
But you
Wait,
could do what you like to do.
I'm gonna roll perception or something like
Okay.
that. I'm just gonna roll wisdom on whether she would actually like think that through.
Okay.
Enough. More than 10. Oh yeah. Okay. So she has noticed.
Okay. Cool.
Good.
So I
The
do.
sword clatters to your feet.
Oh, great! Picks it up, and then I just want to take a massive swipe, but whichever one's closest.
Cool. One of the ones that Locke is fighting. So two-handed.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh no. No. That was that. Well, I don't even know what I'm using with it, but probably a 5.
Probably a 5.
Probably a 5.
Clangs against the back armor plate of this this guy. But hey, he knew you're there now. That's you've announced yourself.
So that's your warning shot.
Roll intimidation again.
Half the time she's not even trying to be intimidating. She's just trying to play off the fact
Your
that
head's on
she's
fire!
messed up. She forgets. She was teased about it at school. It's not a scary thing for her. So intimidation.
What school was this?
Annual Firehead School.
It's Homewood Elementary. Like
She was different. The other kids would follow her around with marshmallows on sticks and just hold them above her
Did they
head.
just light their flags
that's
at your head?
cruel.
Yeah,
Walk up behind him.
modified 20 on the intimidation.
Okay,
Yeah.
he's actually pretty scared because he's turned around and there is a flaming head going, that's your warning shot. I can't do it.
It's your warning shot.
Cool. Locke, that's what you saw as well. So you've just been joined in combat by Flair and one of the commoners.
I've steely determination, but I don't want to test my limits too much. I'm going to go for the basic psychic thing. My head is hurting a lot. I'm feeling quite anxious by the whole situation. I'm going to go for the basic black eyes to try and get this.
Okay.
Mo.
Same guys before?
One that is that the one she just hit?
Yeah, can be.
Yeah, that one. Teamwork. But I'm feeling inspired. Let's see what this adds to it. Plus 5, that's 13. Plus 5, 18.
18 does hit.
Yes.
18 does hit.
Thank you, Flair.
Roll your d8 damage, I think.
Watch this be pathetic now.
She needs more inspiration, guys.
7.
7.
Sorry, 7.
Hey, Twitch. Yeah, so 7. 7. So, do you want to describe fire? Because this is the first time it's hit, isn't it? Apart from the unconscious guy last game.
No one knows about that. Yeah, so finally, there's a kind of a deep boom in this guy's head, which kind of echoes, but not in the cavern, in everyone else's brain as they sense it.
What was that?
And he feels like his head is being compressed.
Okay. His head's in a vice.
Exactly.
Okay, fantastic.
And then,
Yes.
can I make... oh, no, that would be a terrible idea. Wait, I've got a wisdom of 9. No, I'm doing it. My familiar will appear in its natural form of a quasit. And rather
okay.
using its scare action, I want to use it just like to try and intimidate.
So a quasit also has a tail.
We're tail bros.
Roll your intimidation.
Is it mine or his?
His.
And that will be...
Aside from a tail, what does a quasit look like?
A tiny demon.
Okay.
It's like
Yeah.
a gremlin.
Yeah,
like a
they're
gremlin.
like a gremlin. It's got wings as well, though,
Okay.
hasn't it?
That's an imp. It doesn't matter. Send it.
No, never mind.
It doesn't do anything anyway. It appears, and the guy's like, "Oh, look, a quasit." He knows what one looks like. Harvey, you have just been joined by the monk. You can hear her trying to batter the wall next to you.
You also heard a very audible balls.
Balls.
I guess then, so having been attacked from behind,
Yeah.
I give a beat of my wings just so I can lift my feet off the floor and thrust them back with my talons
Nice.
to try and get the person.
I like
that's
that. I like that. So same deal, I'm afraid, though,
Yeah.
because you're in the darkness. You did this.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And that's still 10 for my attack.
Sure. So you land the claws on his chest, but he's got this breastplate that you can't see, so you didn't know not to hit it. And you can just feel with your talons the scrape against metal. Unfortunately.
Damn.
Anything else?
In that case, when I feel the scrape of and realise it's the armour, I decide I need to be able to see what's going on, and I push off him and again beat my wings and get myself out.
Get yourself out of the darkness. Okay, fantastic.
But you leave it there.
Oh yeah, it's still there.
I am gonna
You're
get.
in the darkness.
I am gonna get attacks of opportunity on you, but they both miss because they don't see you about to do this because it's dark. And for everybody outside the darkness, Harvey appears, resplendent 5-foot bird creature with a pickaxe.
It's very metal.
Yeah, it is quite.
That's going to be the album cover.
I should probably have mentioned right at the start. It's less metal because I am quite parrot-like and I'm sort of glowing yellow.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
I like it.
I'm impressed with all my friends today.
So the guards are going. So we've got 2 on against you, but one of
But
them's
you've been
going to
hit
attack.
by
Yeah,
several other
one of them's
people.
going to attack a commoner instead.
Uh-oh.
He definitely hits and kills the commoner.
Oh, what?
And one of them's going to attack you instead.
Okay.
I think it hits you with a 15.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no.
For 9 damage.
Oh, okay. I'm still up, but I am not that up.
So these 2 commoners these 2 people that joined your fight, the guards turn around and rake their swords through them. One of them you see is Flair, and she looks real rough. The other one, you didn't even know their name, and they're on the floor dead now. And there we are.
The price of war.
Price of war. The 2 against you are going to fruitlessly attack. I'm predicting it now. Yep, that one is not a hit, and no, that won't hit you. It's a 13.
19 at the moment.
19.
Holding a sword.
Monks! Knew I should have played a monk.
Right, okay, so...
I think that was a really good sound effect. Yeah, that was well timed.
Okay, and that was the sound effect of the guards going... Right, Kess, it's your turn.
So I heard the scrape of talons against the breastplate, right?
You also heard a flap of wings and a whoosh of air, and you are aware that you're alone.
But what I am aware of is the sounds of talons against the breastplate. 'Cause that's what
I see what
want to
you're
be
saying,
hitting.
yeah.
Yes. Will a 12 hit? Not that my inspiration dice.
Are you going to add your inspiration dice?
Yes. That is a 16.
That will hit just. 16
so I hear
is
the scrape
the
and
armor
just because her with a sword, she's not strong at all. It is just precision, poise, and going up onto one toe, stabbing down right where she heard the noise, and almost a pinprick, not even looking. She rolls, and she does 5 points of damage.
Okay.
But I hear where it hits, and then I try and follow up by leaping into the air and kneeing under the chin, assuming that it's underneath where the chest plate is.
Do it. Roll.
Yeah, 16.
16 is a hit.
6 points of damage.
This guy is down. You can feel, you hear his body hit the floor.
Sorry. Just, stop hitting me. Or trying to.
There is still one guy up.
Hello? Is anyone still there?
I mean, he's breathing quite heavily. You've got, like, in general, it's not like all of this is a vacuum,
Yeah.
as everyone would say. So you'll be able to pinpoint kind of where he is.
Cool, I'm ready.
He's breathing, he's moving, blah, blah, blah.
I'm ready.
Okay. That brings us back to Flair. The guard that you tried to intimidate turns around. Oh no, you tried to stab. Turns around and stabs you, raking his sword across your belly.
So he's right next to me.
He's right in front of you.
Okay, I just want to grab his face and do that. So that the flames from my hair.
A Genasi kiss.
Yeah, I
Fantastic.
want to burn,
Nice.
A
I want to
Genasi
burn his
kiss.
face off.
Face
Off.
off.
Uh, that's what I want to try and do anyway. I mean,
We'll call it an okay.
I know she's not strong. It's a type of grapple. I know she's not strong.
We'll call it an attack with
fine.
D4 fire damage because I like it so much.
Okay, so what do I roll in terms of actually?
Your strength modifier.
Okay. Really?
Natural weapon.
18. Yes.
18.
18.
Yes.
18.
Yes. It does hit. It does hit.
D4.
D4.
This is not good. 4.
Yay!
So Ash is desperately. She can't even think of anything like
leaning in.
clever. She can't even say anything clever because she's in a lot of pain. So it's just grabbing both sides of his head and putting it on top of her head and just like trying to bury his face in the flames.
And he screams into the top of your head, trying to pry your hands off, and then
No, it's staying there. No.
and the screams stop.
Oh.
And he
Trying to avoid
goes
gore.
slack in your hands.
You smell bacon.
Yeah, I probably start to smell things actually like burning.
Yeah, you smell bacon.
Okay.
Do you want to have a look at his face, or do you want to just drop him out of the way?
She closes her eyes and just like kind of tries to do that. So and then is just holding her hands in front of her face.
What Locke sees is horrendous, and I'm sure we can all
Thank God I
imagine
got
it.
such a high constitution.
Have you seen The Dark Knight?
I was thinking more like the end of the first Indiana Jones film.
Yeah, both of
Yeah.
those.
Kind of like that. She still doesn't get why she's intimidating naturally. Like, she genuinely doesn't get it.
I gave a kind of impressed.
You don't sit because your eyes are closed.
Yeah, well, like she pushes it and then she has her hands in front, so she's
Fair.
blocking out the face the entire time. Right. Okay.
With rage in my eyes, I turn to the person who just killed my civilian friend, who I'll now name Jenny.
Wasn't her name, but fine.
We'll remember you, Jenny. And again, I'm going to go for some psychic damage. Just plain old, bog standard.
Do it.
Damage. 14.
Misses. Sorry.
No, I know.
There we are.
Their minds were as strong as their armour.
That's true. That is
Literally
true.
I've worked it out already.
Okay, that brings us to Harvey. Do you want to? So what you see ahead of you is this melee going on around a weird flame-haired lady, literally flame-haired lady, and a chap with a demon on his shoulder. They're desperately trying to fight off these guards.
I seem to be looking around at people going,
One of your mind mates has just been killed by the last remaining guard that you can see that is standing here. What do you do from there?
I swing my pickaxe at said guard.
Do it, please hit. 'Cause
Critical fail.
roll a dexterity saving throw, quickly. No. Okay. So you go to swing, and you're not used to swinging your pickaxe horizontally. You're used to doing it over the shoulder, and it just slides out of your hand and skitters across the floor. The guard doesn't even notice you've done it because he's too bothered trying to work out who to attack of these two.
My reaction is basically
Great. Let's move back onto the guard himself. So first, the one attacking you. Actually good rolls, but they're not going to hit you.
What were they?
It's a 15.
didn't hit me.
And I think at this point he'd definitely attack you.
Okay. I mean, this isn't gonna go well for me.
Nope.
13.
That is equal to my armor class. Most likely, I'm down. Unless he rolls magnificently poorly.
He rolls 6 damage.
Yeah, I'm down.
Okay.
I'm quite good at medicine.
So you see that happen.
That bird's
I'll
a
revive
cleric.
you when I
Let's try and speed it up, guys. I'd like to get to the end of the combat. So, Flair, death saving throw, please.
Okay, first. Yeah.
That's a 7.
Okay, first.
No, you don't get a go. No, yeah, of course you get a go. Sorry, I forgot.
Really hoping I don't die in hour 2.
Okay,
That is an 11, so not hit.
does not hit. Okay,
But I also get the unarmed strike. That is a 13, which does not hit.
Okay.
Pong
Fantastic.
pong.
So we've still got him going on. Strangely enough, the commoners have rolled another critical hit.
Yes.
So, yeah, that one finishes that guy off. So basically, those two ladies that helped you out before have stayed on your shoulders, and as you go down, they just come down on the guy that killed you, and you're like, Harvey thinks to himself, I should have gone over the shoulder with the attack. As the two picks come in on the clavicle either side and just completely pierce the guy. We have one guard left. I'm just going to quickly roll.
Is he the one in there?
Yeah, he's the one in the darkness.
Yeah,
no, go for it. Because it would be your turn.
Yeah, so psychic. How'd you be able to see them?
Yeah.
In that case, I turn around and run in, and luckily I have dark vision.
Fine.
So can see him.
Yeah.
You can even from the outside. You can see into it.
Yeah. So in that case, I'll just turn around and furiously hope I roll well. I do not. No, 13. No, it's not.
13.
I don't get advantage because he's in the dark.
No. The opposite, in fact. Harvey, do you want to have a punt at him? Please.
Harvey can heal.
Harvey can
actually,
heal. Yeah, no, you're right. That's better. That's better use of your time.
I can hear noises in there, but I'm more interested in casting Revive on Flare.
Okay, fantastic. Is that your D8? Does it say D8?
I think it's just a stabilizing thing.
Yeah, it stabilizes.
And at the base, so you're now okay. So you lay your hands down, and this warm energy flows down through your hands, and she stops bleeding out for now. You're stable.
Unconscious but stable.
Unconscious but stable.
Stable,
Yeah.
not unconscious.
Spare
Not
the
conscious. Okay, and we're gonna go to Kess. Because I'm gonna assume. Yeah, I miss.
Daddy needs a new pair of shoes. Daddy's a girl, don't call her daddy.
Mummy.
14. I'm
14.
Not getting high
In
enough.
that case, you get an attack of opportunity. You get an attack of opportunity.
On
Quickly. On the rating.
Yes!
12 plus
21.
Can you roll damage?
Which damage do you want?
Is 9 points of damage as he turns
Okay,
to run
so
away.
he tries to run. He turns. That's fine. He turns
Sorry for anyone
and
on the street.
tries to run out of the darkness, but as he does, you both catch him. You catch him by the throat and psychically start to meld his brain, and that is just what you needed to come in behind and finish the guy.
Just because I can't see anything, I'm just stabbing wildly. I think I'll probably get him in the back of the head by accident.
Just missed my hand.
Indeed. We overrun a little bit, so very quickly that is
Yes.
where we're going to leave this hour of Adventurers Wanted.
Yay!
So thanks very
Good
much.
die.
Once again, we are live tweeting. Our stage managers are live tweeting all of it at Adventurers250 on Twitter. You can watch on Twitch. If you're hearing that, you probably are. And we also have Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram accounts, of course. And check us out on Patreon. We're doing all sorts of things throughout the year, monthly, from month to month, mostly based in London. So, we'll quickly hand over to our players for plugs. Yep. One sentence.
Nothing for the moment.
No, we'll do it next time. It's cool.
Yeah.
Well, okay, cool.
Thanks,
We're fine.
stream.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Liam.
Liam.
Thank you, Liam.
Bye.
Bye.